Hello my friends, I'm Duchess and welcome to my YouTube channel. This week I did a lot of experimenting with art style, so I decided to draw some I Love You fan art with thin and clean line art. Let's get started. I've never drawn Shinae or Kosuke, so I decided to draw Youngji or Noel with Shin, A, and Kosuke. I Love You is a pretty old webtoon that I've been reading for a long time now. I think there were only about 50 episodes out when I first started reading it, and it now has 186. I Love You is about this Korean high schooler named Shinae Yu who lives pretty poorly and she doesn't have the easiest life. Her mom and her sister left when she was young, so her father had to take care of her himself, but it was hard because he was a single dad. So basically they have some financial problems and one thing leads to another, and she meets this crazy weird dude at the super rich people party. One of the things that I love about this webtoon is that nothing is really cliche or overdone. There's a lot of movies and shows and books that I'm sure you can think of where the main character is a female who's poor and then she meets like a rich guy and basically fall in love happily ever after, right? But this isn't like that at all. It has so many more interesting components that make it a really amazing webtoon, and I just love it a lot because it's not some cliche Korean drama or anything. Anyway, I don't want to go into too much detail about the webtoon so I don't spoil anything for anyone, but you should know that it's an amazing webtoon and you should consider checking it out. I know I say that for basically every webtoon I talk about or make fan art of, but it's true. For their outfits, I was thinking that I should draw an outfit that they wear often or something that's just very them. Like I said earlier, Shinae grew up poor and she's still poor, so she doesn't really wear fancy clothes or anything, but she's also tomboyish, so she likes to dress casually. Youngji, or Noel, who's on the left, is pretty wealthy, but he doesn't really overdress. He wears really nice clothes, of course, but usually more sporty and casual. Kosuke, who's on the right, obviously, is wealthy and he likes dressing up fancy and wearing really nice things. Also, sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. I looked up how to pronounce it, so hopefully it's right. I've been pronouncing it as Kosuke since yesterday, but I guess that doesn't make sense. I also used to pronounce Sasuke as Sasuke, so I guess that's why I was pronouncing Kusuke as Kosuke. I'm still confused. Honestly, I didn't realize that Kusuke, Hirahara, however you say it, sounds Japanese and not Korean. I kind of assumed that his name was Korean because Shinae is also Korean and the name is Korean. Anyway, I took a while deciding what I wanted them to wear because clothes can tell a lot about a person. I'm sure you can kind of tell already what kind of personalities that these characters have just by their clothes, which I think is pretty cool. The sketch for this fan art took a bit longer, but that's fine. I really wanted to capture their personalities with this drawing, so I was spending a lot of time on it. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen me talking about art styles and my stories and how indecisive I am about it. Throughout my art journey, I've grown a lot and developed so many art styles. It's almost insane. I went from baby drawings to cartoon-like drawings to My Little Pony drawings to Winx drawings to anime styled to realistic portraits to semi-realism, then eventually to my current art style, which I'm still struggling with. I don't really stay consistent, but I also feel like that's because I have a lot to learn as an artist, which is why my art style changes so much in such a short period of time. I draw every day, so I learn new tricks and how to draw things better, so my drawings change a bit every time over time. I find it quite frustrating, so I've been drawing in a bunch of different art styles lately to try and find the best one for me. So for this fan art, I decided to use thin line art, which isn't my usual style. For any aspiring artists who might be watching my video, don't worry too much about art styles and just draw what you want because your art will change as you grow, and I think that's completely fine. The coloring part of this took longer than usual because I tried to shortcut the coloring process, which was a huge mistake. I tried to just color drop the colors, but it didn't fill in the art completely, and it left all these little annoying white spots everywhere. So I ended up going back and just coloring everything the way that I usually do, so I did double the work. Never again. I used a lot of reference pictures for this fan art because I had trouble finding good reference panels in the webtoon. For Noel's outfit, or Youngji's outfit, I wasn't sure what he should wear, but I decided to go with this nice sporty outfit. I think I should have looked harder and found a nicer outfit, but I'm okay with it. Kosuke, Kusuke's outfit was perfect because I feel like he wears it often, since I was able to remember the colors and purposefully looked for this reference. Janae's outfit is very her, and I think she wears this the most too, so I was happy with hers. However, I realized I had given her jacket a really weird color, so I went back and fixed it. I drew it from memory at first and made the color kind of fluffy looking, but it's just a regular color, so reminder to always use a reference. I also drew her hair way too long for no reason. I don't know why I drew it that way, but I guess I had lost some brain cells before I started this drawing. The shading was not as enjoyable as usual, and I think it might be because the line art was so clean. I think I almost felt like I was restricted when I was shading, so maybe this line art isn't for me. After studying art styles for a few weeks, I've changed the way I draw eyes a tiny bit. It's almost unnoticeable, but I think some people can tell almost immediately because of the details. After some more rendering, I was done. I'm pleasantly surprised at how this fan art turned out. I like the colors and how it's plain, but not too plain. I've also discovered that I don't like this thin line art as much as I thought, and I probably won't be doing it again. Also, not to be afraid to try out something new because it's not really a waste of time. It's good to experiment sometimes. That's all I have for this week. If you found it entertaining, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get notified. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next week.